Madam, I plan to take a concubine. I will take Miss Ju into our household, a noble lady from a former dynasty. You've met her before. Winner followed His Majesty to establish this dynasty. I put my life on the line. Now that I am in debt as a Jew, what's wrong with taking a marquis's legitimate daughter? That old Tan's family, illiterate commoners, have even taken daughters from old households as the second wives.
What was bound to happen has finally arrived. I, at 38 years old, have endured half a lifetime of hardship with him. It is time to enjoy some peace and comfort. My dear husband has toiled for half his life. It is time for him to enjoy himself. He joined the army at 17, over 20 years and 100 battles, in 5th as a duke and awarded noble titles. Don't even speak of a marquis's legitimate daughter. Even a princess from the imperial clan would be a fitting match.
Madam, so you agree?
Why should I not agree? My dear husband has achieved success and fame. I am respected in this household. Whose efforts are these due to? Is it not my husband who earned it with his life? The year I married him, he was a destitute man. I was a village girl. When he went to war, I sewed winter clothes. When he was wounded, I brewed herbal medicine. My mother-in-law was paralyzed for 3 years. I attended to her every need, never burdening him for a single day.
Madam, rest assured, even if I were to marry 100 noble ladies, you would still be the principal wife. No one could ever surpass you.
As long as my husband recognizes my worth, that is all I ask. Acknowledge, absolutely. Then I also ask my husband for reassurance. Our eldest son, Qing, is 19 now. He has spent 3 years training with you in the military camp. I wish to request that he be named heir apparent.
It is only right. I shall submit a memorial tomorrow.
There is one more matter. My lord, please drink this bowl of medicine, a sterilization tonic. My lord, do not be alarmed. Please hear me out. Lady Ju is 18 this year, once the legitimate daughter of a marquis, raised in utmost privilege. Why would such a person marry you as a concubine? What is she after? Is it your advanced age? Is it your fiery temper? She's after your noble title and your power. But the Ju family has miscalculated. Your title, Duan Qing, was earned with your very life. To whom it is passed, you must decide. If you drink this medicine, then when Lady Ju enters our household and cannot bear children, she will not harbor any ill intentions. Once she discovers she cannot bear children and causes a scene, you may simply blame me. Say that I, this jealous woman, did it. You will remain untainted. All the fault will be mine. But consider the opposite. If Lady Ju enters our household and her firstborn is a son, will she not wonder, why can't my son inherit the title? She, a golden branch and jade Li, became your concubine. Why should her son be inferior to Qing? When she causes a scene, then her family will join in. The censors will impeach you for favoring a concubine over your wife, and His Majesty will scold you for being unable to manage your own household affairs. You have fought battles your entire life. Must you, in your old age, still contend with women's schemes? Our sons, Qing pursues the martial path, Ping pursues the scholarly path. Now is a critical period for them. We cannot let such a person affect our children's future prospects. Heaven has truly blessed me, granting me 2 clever sons and a sweet, obedient daughter. My children are not only my safeguard, but also one of Duan Qing's few weaknesses.
I drink. I endured half a lifetime of hardships alongside the Jew. Now that he has achieved success and renown, he intends to take Lady Ju, a noblewoman from the former dynasty, as a concubine.
I agreed, and at the same time, presented him with a sterility draft.
I have fought battles my entire life. Why should I be schemed against in my old age? They wish for their grandson to inherit the title. Dream on.
That's right, our son, who also followed you on campaigns across the land, enduring countless hardships. This duke's title should naturally be enjoyed by our sons.
My lady is truly thoughtful. I would never favor a concubine over my wife. Unlike others, my lady, please trust me.
I have always known that my husband is no ungrateful wretch like Lu Cheng. Lu Cheng, that boorish man, a former bricklayer. How much suffering did Lin Lin endure with him? Once he achieved success and fame, he took a concubine, the daughter of a fallen scholar official. In less than half a year, Lin Lin was tormented so badly she became a shadow of her former self. That kind woman, who had suffered half a lifetime of hardships with her husband, in the end met with such a tragic fate. This face, weathered by 20 years of wind, frost, and blade, her eyes no longer clear and bright. The way he looks at me has changed from his former devotion to indifference, and often, a fleeting glimpse of disgust. When will Lady Ju enter our household? After Qing is in 5th as the heir apparent. How about we bring her in then? I shall go write the petition for his enfifment right away. Back then, When he left for battle, I stood at the village entrance to see him off. He looked back at me every few steps. At that time, his eyes held only me. Now, his eyes hold only undisguised disdain. Such a man can only share hardships but not prosperity. Go fetch the account books. Starting tomorrow, you will learn to manage the family's assets.
Mother? Father won't agree to this.
He will. While that bit of guilt in Duan Qing's heart hasn't dissipated yet, we must quickly seize control of the family's assets hereafter. However many noble ladies he wishes to take as concubines, let him be. 38 years old, my body is still sturdy, my eldest son is dependable, my second son excels in his studies, my youngest daughter is well behaved. From this day forward, I shall leave for myself Duan Qing's intention to take a concubine. I am not surprised. Those old friends who fought alongside him to establish his power after achieving success and renown, which of them did not take a concubine? Therefore, I had long been prepared. I made him drink the Baroness potion. On this day, I went to the Marquis Jinbei's residence to visit my old friend, Lin Lin. 3 months had passed since we last met. She was already emaciated beyond recognition. Lin Lin lay alone in her bed, her face a sallow yellow. Promotion, wealth, and the death of the original Y. This is our fate. The day that Rich entered the household, she wore an entire outfit of red. My husband said, she's just a child, she doesn't know any better. Why bother arguing with her? Later, she didn't know any better every single day. Arriving late to pay respects, that was not knowing any better. Eating my bird's nest, that was not knowing any better. Contradicting me in front of guests, that's ignorant. My husband told me to be more tolerant. She even falsely accused me of causing her miscarriage, but she wasn't even pregnant at all. Yet Lu Cheng, that blind fool, without a second thought, slapped me to the ground. Not only did he call me a vicious woman, but he also confined me to my quarters and stripped me of my authority over the household. If Duan Qing were to harbor such thoughts, you must never let those vile women from the former dynasty enter your home. They have fallen into the mud and will cling to any blade of grass to climb back up. They will resort to any means and care not for their dignity. We cannot contend with them. Fortunately, Duan Qing is not such a man. You are truly blessed. As for me now, in Duan Qing's eyes, I am but an old garment, not torn, still wearable, but no longer vibrant enough. He wishes to wear something new. He has achieved success and renown, and it is time for him to enjoy himself. As for me, I am merely a stone in his pot. Lady Ju, the legitimate daughter of a former dynasty noble, her ancestors were prosperous for 5 generations, raised in a nest of silk and splendor. Even though she is now fallen, her inherent grace and bearing, even I, esteemed as the Duchess, must feel ashamed of my own inferiority. A man like Duan Qing, I understand all too well, one who has climbed out of the mud and suddenly found wealth and status, is most afraid of being called unrefined. To marry a noblewoman is not only a symbol of status, but also the fastest way to shed the label of a commoner and a coarse warrior. That is why he wishes to bring in a noble lady from the former dynasty. Firstly, to show those pedantic old officials. Secondly, the urgent desire for enjoyment gained the upper hand. As for me, his coarse, long-suffering wife, he had long grown tired of me. When Lady Ju entered the household, my eldest son, Qingye, had just been in 5th as the heir apparent. She knelt to offer tea, yet her eyes pierced through me like daggers. Auntie Ju, are you perhaps displeased? Madam misunderstands.
This concubine is honored to serve the Duke. I could not be happier.
Is it because the heir apparent was in 5th too soon? Are you displeased?
Madam misunderstands this concubine. How could this concubine be anything but pleased that Madam's eldest son has been in 5th as the heir apparent?
Madam, enough.
I was merely teasing you just now. Auntie Ju, my Duke is 43 this year, and quite the rough, unrefined man. You, a noble lady in the prime of your youth, why are you willing to be a concubine to the Duke? Is it true admiration for my Duke, or do you covet the wealth of the Duke's mansion? Admiration. Although this fellow is a coarse, unrefined man, he still possesses some degree of self-awareness. I knew when to stop. I deliberately bestowed upon her a pair of inexpensive bracelets. Although Duan Qing harbored reservations about Lady Ju, it did not prevent him from thoroughly enjoying her company. And for a coarse man like him, who had endured hardship for half his life. The gentle consideration of such a high-born noblewoman, her understanding nature, would surely be a steel blade scraping bone. As expected, Duan Qing was soon utterly enthralled. He not only made an exception to accompany Lady Ju back to her maiden home, but he also granted all of her requests. He even made an exception by allowing her to reside in a private courtyard furnished with servants and maids and sedan chairs for her comings and going. Her grandeur was no less than that of me, the Duchess. Observing the endless stream of expenses from Lady Ju's courtyard, I remained outwardly impassive. Not only did I not impede it, but I even deliberately added many more items. Once concubine Ju had established herself, she predictably used these cheap bracelets to cause trouble.
How could the esteemed Duchess send such cheap bracelets to a concubine? Does she not fear being mocked by outsiders?
My lord, have you forgotten this pair of bracelets you bought for me back when you were a banner commander after receiving a reward specifically as a gift for me? All these years, I have always worn them. To me, these bracelets are more precious than any treasure. Concubine Ju does not understand the deep meaning these bracelets hold for me. I understand that, but how could you, my lord, forget?
It is this concubine's fault. Your ladyship and the Duke are a couple who have shared hardships. Naturally, this concubine cannot hope to compare. But when the Duke followed His Majesty to conquer the realm, those must have been the darkest of times. Ordinary people would not wish to recall them. Why must your ladyship always bring up the Duke's painful memories?
Concubine Ju is right. You always bring up past events. Is it not simply to make me feel guilty from now on? Those past events are not to be mentioned again.
26 years as husband and wife, we have braved mountains of blades and seas of fire. Now, they cannot even be spoken of.
You dare strike me.
Concubine Ju, when your Ju family fell into misfortune, I initially felt pity for you. Only today do I realize, it is only today I comprehend that your family's downfall is not unjust in the slightest.
What do you mean? Your ladyship.
He says those were dark times for you and should not be mentioned again. But who was by your side during those times? It was I. I braved the mountains of blades with you. I waded through the seas of fire with you. Now that you have achieved success and fame, that period has now become darkness, a sorrowful memory that should not be mentioned again. Then let me ask you this, what if His Majesty also thinks this way, with His Majesty now ruling the realm, and seeing you, his old comrades from the days before his ascension, who are unlettered and crude in manner, constantly bringing up the days you fought and bled together? Would His Majesty not also find it tiresome? Would he not also consider those dark years painful memories that should not be mentioned again? While those former imperial officials are refined and cultured and know how to conduct themselves with grace, never speak of such things. They accompany His Majesty daily, discussing poetry and painting with gentle words and soft voices. Over time, would His Majesty not look upon you rough folk with increasing disdain? Husband, you resent me bringing up the past, making you feel guilty, but have you ever considered that she makes you despise these old memories not because she cares for you, but because she wants to sever your roots? What are your roots? Your merit from following His Majesty, your 26 years of risking life and limb. If all of that is uprooted, what would you be? Just a crude, uncouth boor, nothing more. By then, who will be there to discuss poetry and painting with His Majesty? The Ju family. Who will be able to amuse His Majesty? A woman from the Ju family. You, Duan Qing. It's not me she hates, it's you lot of mud-footed peasants. If it weren't for you following His Majesty in rebellion, she would still be the esteemed legitimate daughter of a Marquis manor. Yet now, she has to kneel and serve you. Can her heart truly accept that? She cannot touch your peerage, so she'll tamper with your mind, making you scorn your loyal companions, making you forget your roots, and making you alienate your old comrades. Once you all become isolated and alone, the Ju family will rise again.
You're slandering me.
I'm slandering you. Then swear to it that you harbor not a shred of resentment when you served him. Did you not wonder, by what right?
My Lord Duke, this concubine has been wronged. This concubine has truly been wronged.
Darling, back then, His Majesty was besieged at Wazi Slope. You 300 fought to the death for 3 days and 3 nights. Only 47 survived. His Majesty said, I shall never forget your grace in this lifetime. But now, those pedantic scholars from the former dynasty now accompany His Majesty daily, composing poetry with their gentle words and soft whispers. As time wears on, when His Majesty sees you coarse men again, will he not also feel those days were too dark and should no longer be mentioned? When the birds are gone, the bow is put away. When the rabbit dies, the hounds are cooked. You've heard these sayings. If one day His Majesty also finds you old officials an eyesore and wishes to replace you with a batch of refined men to serve him, darling, once your heart broke whole, put yourself in my shoes. I endured 26 years of hardship with you, braving mountains of blades and seas of fire. Now, for the sake of this plaything, you would dig up my roots and pierce my heart, darling. How can you be so heartless?
Get back to your courtyard. Without my leave, do not come out. Madam, henceforth, these will all be under your charge.
Delong, if you wish to take concubines, I shall permit it. If you wish to indulge, I shall permit it, but there is one condition. Do not touch my roots. Duan Qing neglected Lady Ju for several days, but could not resist his longing. In the dead of night, he slipped into Lady Ju's bed once more. The next day, when Lady Ju came to pay her respects to me, her fear was tinged with subtle defiance. This is Lady Yang. This is Lady Huang. They are just like you. All were once noble women. Now, their families have suffered greatly, and they are cast down into the dust. But the Duke has always been kind-hearted, pitying their loneliness and helplessness, so he brought them into the residence. Henceforth, you shall be sisters. You must endeavor to get along. The identities of Lady Yang and Lady Huang had been embellished by me. The two were indeed daughters of officials, but not noble women. Lady Yang was a concubine's daughter from an official family. Because she was a girl, after raising her for a few years, they could no longer support her. She was then sold at a high price into a pleasure quarter. Lady Huang's origins were even more prominent, an imperial clan daughter of the previous dynasty. After her nation fell and her family was ruined, she could only descend into a life of infamy. Both grew up in pleasure quarters and learned all the wiles of a vixen, skilled in song and dance, possessing unique talents. If asked to feign being a courtesan, they would instantly become alluring and seductive. If asked to feign being noblewomen, they would instantly be dignified and reserved. Seeing the two even more outstanding competitors, Jushi gritted her teeth in frustration. Naturally, she had no time to contend with me. I began to lavishly purchase jewelry and ornaments for myself and tailor new clothes, acquire residences and farmlands. I did everything with the utmost extravagance. The 100 Treasures Pavilion, a century-old shop in the capital, had a new kingfisher feather headdress inlaid with 100 treasures. I bought it without batting an eyelid. Madam, please go easy. Ever since the 3 concubines entered our household, money has been flowing like water. If you keep spending like this, we might have nothing left next month. Nanny, you are mistaken. If I don't spend this silver, plenty of others will spend it for me. They stole my man and are spending the silver that rightfully belongs to me and my children. In the future, they might even usurp my position and seize my place. Why should I bother to save anymore? Lu Cheng's concubine, Lady Yan, had a direct confrontation with me at the 100 Treasures Pavilion. We both fancied this large phoenix hairpin of pure gold and kingfisher feathers. Who would have thought that Lady Yan, surrounded by attendants adorned in gold and silver and appearing every bit like a legitimate wife, was merely a pitiful daughter of a civil official whose entire family's male members were exiled and female relatives enslaved as servants, begging for refuge everywhere just a year ago. This headdress, I shall buy it. Madam, why don't you buy something else? You, a lowly concubine, dare to be so arrogant in front of this madam. You became a concubine to the Marquis of Zhenghua, schemed until the original wife died, and thought you could rest easy. Yet in the end, it was all for naught. This is the retribution for your arrogance. HNPA, you must be very comfortable being a concubine, aren't you? The dignity of all scholars in the land has been utterly disgraced by you. No wonder I look down on those so-called civil officials. On the surface, they appear righteous and awe-inspiring, always prattling on about morality, righteousness, propriety, and honor. One day they'll call a certain lord vulgar, the next, they'll call a certain marquis a parvenu. Yet, they'll turn around and offer concubines to these very same people, even their own daughters, then instigate their daughters to scheme against the legitimate wife and undermine the legitimate heir. Their ambition is glaringly obvious. Madame Yun's skill in household infighting was no less than Madame Ju's. However, both her paternal and maternal clans had been implicated in crimes. Even if she had managed to scheme against and eliminate the legitimate wife, she could never have been elevated to the position of main wife. That scoundrel Lu Cheng, after rising to the ranks of high officials, also began to care about what the civil officials thought of him. He believed that by marrying Yu Jin, a civil official's daughter, he could wash away his vulgarity and the stench of a parvenu. Little did he know, those literati Noble to their very core, their contempt and disdain for military men was not only a reasonable means of suppression but also a form of survival wisdom. This Madame Yun truly had good fortune. No sooner had the new madam stepped through the door than she received Master Yuan Tom of Hu Temple's prophecy that she would bring prosperity to her husband. Lu Cheng, being the most superstitious man, believed it wholeheartedly and elevated Madame Yun at every turn, relying on this husband-prospering charm as her shield. Madame Yun was practically on equal footing with the new madam. Now, she even dares to flaunt her authority before me. Could I possibly tolerate her? Not only did I give her 2 slaps, but I also sowed discord between her and the new Marquis Jingguo's wife. Your husband-prospering trick could only fool that idiot Lu Cheng to think you could deceive the new madam. How naive. Madame Yun's retaliation came that very night. Li Shi, get your ass out here. Who do you think you are? How dare you publicly slap my beloved concubine? I wouldn't even lay a finger on her myself. Old Lu, calm down, calm my ass down. You village woman, if I don't deal with you today, I'm not a Lu. Old Lu, my humble wife is crude and fierce, you know that, don't you? For my sake as your brother, spare her this once, spare her. Duan Qing, are you even a man? Damn it, your wife is running wild outside and you can't control her. Then I'll do it for you, alright, you'll deal with her later. Duan Qing, back when we were cutting down men together, you weren't like this, were you? This? At your age, still wearing such gaudy head, don't you look in a mirror? Is it fitting? If you ask me, you should divorce this woman. I'll introduce you to some truly noble ladies later. Young ones, radiant ones who won't embarrass you. What? You can't bear to. Just a village woman and you treat her like a treasure. Among us old brothers who hasn't changed wives a few times, only you cling to this old hag. I sent it pathetic. That glance, I understood it wasn't protection. He was ashamed of me. Alright. Regarding today's incident, for old Duan's sake, I won't lay a hand on her myself. Old Duan, you do it yourself. Old Duan, my temper, you know my temper, you good for nothing. Someone from the Lu family is not for you to touch. This small lesson today is to make you remember. Father, have mercy. Godmother was in the wrong. Marquis Jingguo, this concubine was mistaken. This concubine will never dare again. Please, for Linlin's sake, forgive this concubine, mother. Lu Cheng is a mad dog, and he kills without batting an eye. Linlin, that poor woman Lu Cheng tortured to death that day. She held my hand and said 4 words to me. Live well. The 2 words, Linlin, were like a thorn, piercing his long-rotted heart. Alright. Fine, for the sake of my nephew's admirable filial piety, you'll spare your mother this once. Among us old brothers, most have replaced wives and taken concubines. Only you are fortunate enough to have met a soft-hearted old Duan, and you damn well don't cherish your blessings. You're practically asking for death. What are you hiding for? ISNT this whole mess today you're doing. Why provoke Lady Yun? For no good reason. She's publicly known to bring prosperity to her husband. Lu Cheng is incredibly superstitious. How could he not treasure her? You, a dignified Jew, will you just let a mere marquis climb all over you? You to appease him, he'd your own legitimate why? Is that honorable? He clearly doesn't hold you in his regard. Lu Cheng is nothing but a mad dog. It's not as if you don't know. When I hit you, I still held back. If he doesn't calm down, who knows what trouble he'll stir up. Enough. Go back to your room and stay there. Don't make a spectacle of yourself for me. Mother, Xing Ye. I want Lu Cheng utterly ruined, cast from heaven into hell. I've wanted Lu Cheng dead for a long time now. The day Linlin drew her last breath, I held her hand. She told me to live well, and her last 2 words were, revenge. Today, that slap from Duan Qing was the final straw. I know, wanting Lu Cheng dead won't be easy, but where there's a will, there's a way. I called Qing Ye and Chengping to me, and we discussed for several days and nights. Lu Cheng's sudden rise to prominence has brought all his vices to the surface. He treats human life as dirt, oppresses men and women, favors concubines over his wife, both within and outside the court. Criticisms against him are piling up. The civil officials have long been discontent. The emperor is troubled by these men's contributions to his ascension, daring not incur the infamy of discarding the bow. When the birds are gone, he can only raise his hand high. then gently lowered. But what if we add the power of the civil officials? My eldest son, Qing, is tasked with finding someone to contact Linlin's 2 children. They live in constant fear under Lu Cheng's watchful eye, needing only a spark to ignite. As for those censors who constantly impeach my father for his crudeness, my second son, Chengping, will specifically seek out places where censors frequent and loudly denounce the truly despicable Marquis of Xinhua. He favors concubines and abuses his wife. He abandons his legal wife. Are they suddenly struck dumb? As for me, I entered the palace to seek an audience with the Empress. The Empress, too, had known much hardship. She had accompanied His Majesty from his days on horseback all the way to the Dragon Throne. Now, seeing the favored concubines in the 3 palaces and 6 courtyards, their belly swollen with child, her suffering is only greater than ours, not less. I knelt before her, weeping like a child, crying about Linlin's tragic demise, and for those original wives, those former companions who are now all gone. Some succumbed to illness, others were sent back to their ancestral homes, and some vanished without a trace. The children they left behind should have been raised with utmost honor and cherished like precious jewel, enjoying the hereditary privileges their parents' status should have afforded them. Yet now, they are utterly neglected and trampled upon by others. Back in the military camp, in those days, Lin helped Her Majesty carry provisions and brewed herbal medicines. Those memories she had not forgotten. What is it you wish to do? I wish for Lu Cheng to be charged with favoring a concubine and destroying his legitimate wife, his noble title stripped and his merits revoked. This charge cannot be firmly pinned upon him. His merit in serving His Majesty during his ascent is undeniable. His Majesty, in fact, already feels he has suppressed Lu Cheng's noble rank and thus carries a sense of guilt towards him. All the indulgence he has received these past years is but a form of compensation. Your Majesty, have you ever considered this? Why those civil officials desperately send their daughters into the homes of military generals? Ostensibly, they marry off their daughters to be concubines, but what of their true intentions? After Lu Cheng took a daughter of a civil official as his concubine, how many fewer impeachment memorials were filed against him? As for those who did not take concubines, they were impeached every other day. Why did my Duan Qing take Lady Ju as a concubine? Was it not because he feared constant impeachment? What is the very root of a military general's power? It is the merit of having followed His Majesty in his ascent. It is over 20 years of risking life and limb, and the authority to command troops. The civil officials wish to uproot this foundation and replace it with their own people, their own bloodline. Once these generals all become sons-in-law to civil officials, whose orders will they obey then? Your Majesty. But what if one day the hearts of these generals are no longer with His Majesty? Or, to put it another way, when all these generals are gone, the newly appointed dukes, marquises, and earls will all be from the bloodlines of these very civil officials. What is it you wish me to do? Once enough impeachment memorials have been submitted, I implore Your Majesty to personally submit a petition. You are the Empress consort, who endured all hardships alongside His Majesty. When you speak up for Lu Cheng's original wife, you are speaking up for all suffering original wives in the realm. When His Majesty hears this, it will not only be Lu Cheng who feels ashamed, but also himself. I said no more. Some things are best left at a hint. Half a month later, the imperial censors, provoked by Qingping, submitted memorials impeaching Lu Cheng for favoring his concubine over his wife, mistreating his original wife, allowing his servants to commit violence, and illegally occupying civilian land. Lu Cheng sent his household guards to corner the censors in an alley and beat them soundly. This incident caused an uproar. The unyielding censors penned memorials overnight, listing dozens of his major crimes in flowing prose, recounting Lu Cheng's faults from head to toe. Immediately after, the drums of Shunqian Prefecture thundered to the heavens. Lu Cheng's 2 sons filed a complaint against their biological father, accusing him of colluding with his favored concubine to persecute their legitimate mother, with witnesses and physical evidence all readily available. On the day Lu Cheng was impeached, Duan Qing locked himself in his study, writing a memorial to the throne. Through the door, I heard him cursing the entire afternoon. Damn it, those pedantic scholars just can't stand to see us military generals doing well. Back when we were fighting to establish this dynasty, with our lives on the line, they were hiding in the rear, composing poems and couplets. Now that they've enjoyed a few days of peace, are they jealous? Your Uncle Lu even carried you on horseback when you were little. You ungrateful rich. He stormed into our home and forced you to beat my mother. The shame inflicted upon my mother is an unforgivable offense. Father, as a husband, you did not stand up for my mother, but instead, for an outsider, you beat your own legitimate wife. Such conduct How noble can it be? What the hell do you know? Lu Cheng is a mad dog, always seeking revenge for the slightest grievance. If I hadn't beaten your mother, then how could I have appeased his rage? Cheng Ping, you don't know Lu Cheng's temper. Now he's trapped in his manor and can't get out. If he finds out you were the one secretly orchestrating this, do you think he'll let you off? If he truly storms our gates, well, just say that you, as the head of the household, ordered them to do it. Foolish woman, you would actually plot against me like this. Therefore, to prevent Lu Cheng from retaliating later, I suggest your grace immediately submit a memorial vehemently denouncing Lu Cheng for harboring resentment and ambition and having long harbored disloyal intention. He has long harbored ulterior motives. Witnesses, you are. As for witnesses, the late Lady Lu's dying words, is that not enough? You mean to utterly destroy old Lu? From the day he forced Lin Lin to her ruin, I have wanted his life. He came to our home to humiliate me for the sake of a vile concubine. I have thought of nothing else but how to destroy him. You, when did you become so vindictive? And haven't you changed as well since you were made Jew? You've become arrogant, bossing everyone around and surrounded by women. I am, after all, the Duchess now. It's only natural that I should awe and command respect, ruthless towards all. Those who obey me thrive. Those who defy me perish. Duke, write it quickly. Lu Cheng must be eliminated. Firstly, to avenge his humiliation of your wife and child. Secondly, it can also conceal the fact that you are a coward. Then you can publicly declare that Lu Cheng was truly outrageous, forcing me to beat my own wife for a mere concubine. What kind of man does such a thing? I, too, for the sake of our past camaraderie, showed him much forbearance. Did he truly think I was a harmless cat? Thirdly, once Lu Cheng falls, someone will have to take over his military authority. Rest assured, you are doing this to protect your wife and to seek justice for your primary wife. Scholars value this above all. Father, once your reputation for protecting your wife spreads, the civil officials will hold you in higher regard. Those classmates from the academy most respect those who value loyalty and righteousness. The very night the memorial was submitted, word of it spread throughout the palace and beyond. Duan Qing, that rough fellow, turned out to be a man of loyalty and righteousness. Lu Cheng was truly outrageous, forcing even honest men to lose the temper. Although Lu Cheng has yet to be punished, Duan Qing's reputation has indeed significantly improved. My lady, that day, I was in the wrong. When Lin Lin was tormented, held my hand and spoke of revenge. She didn't say how to exact it. I know. Some blades must be wielded by others. That very night, His Majesty visited the Empress Palace. Before the Emperor, the Empress wept profusely, pleading her case with heart-wrenching sorrow. She spoke of carrying provisions in the military camp back then, of Lady Lu's virtue and kindness, how she endured countless hardships, and how she was tormented to her demise. She spoke of the suffering of first wives across the land, of martial generals forgetting their origins, and how disheartening it was, the intermarriages between civil and military officials, what hidden motives lay behind them. This concubine dares to implore your majesty to grant justice to all suffering first wives under heaven. At the morning court the next day, an imperial decree was issued. Marquis Jinghua, Lu Cheng, for favoring his concubine and abandoning his wife, and forcing his first wife to her demise, is hereby stripped of his title, and all his official documents are nullified. He is demoted to a commoner and shall never again be employed. As for Lady Yan, she is to be beaten to death with cudgels. Other esteemed nobles who similarly favored concubines, abandoned their wives, and remarried noblewomen were also severely reprimanded. Not only were they stripped of 3 years' salary, but they were also compelled to observe a year of mourning for their first wives. Madam, Lu Cheng has fallen. Madam, why do you not seem pleased? Pleased about what? Lu Cheng has fallen, you see. Mamara, what do you suppose Duan Qing is thinking at this moment? Lin Lin, do you see this? Duan Qing has been unusually docile these past few days. The Empress crackdown on the nobility is growing stricter by the day. He comes to my chambers daily to report his presence. I made him sleep on the ahad bed in the outer chamber. Madam, you never used to find fault with me. Lately, I've invited several Duan scholars to teach in the manor. Watching those diligent students, reserved and scholarly, cultured and elegant, their discourse is insightful, and they speak with eloquence, I feel entirely rejuvenated. Then I look at you, madam, You can actually utter so many idioms. My father was a shirtsai. At the very least, my ancestors even produced a jinshi. I've been a coarse person by your side for 26 years. But that doesn't mean the legacy of a farming and scholarly family is broken. All these years, following you through countless campaigns, bearing and raising children, serving your parents, yet I never once put down my books. Now that I am the Duchess, I must keep pace with the times even more. I suddenly realize, this attire on you is no worse than those noblewomen of the former dynasty. Clothes make the person. I wouldn't want to bring shame upon the Jew. I've noticed, you has become much more distant towards me lately. I should be the one saying that. Ever since Duchess entered our household, the Duke's treatment of me is no longer what it once was. You used to call me Dalang. When did things change that you became so distant? People always change. The moonlight outside the window is beautiful. Back then, he would also lean in like this, calling me you my, saying that once he became successful, he would make me a gaming thuran. Now I have the gaming title, but that air of his, I no longer wish to answer him. Lu Cheng has fallen. On the day the news spread, Duan Qing's study was packed with people. Old Duan. His Majesty intends to discard us after we've served our purpose. What are we to do? His Majesty hasn't even acted yet, and you gentlemen are already in a panic. Old Duan, you, a grown man, would you truly let a mere woman dictate to us? I say, old Jew, you, to marry a noble lady, forced out third sister-in-law, and now you won't even let others speak of it, forcing out your original wife aside. Your child was, at least, your own flesh and blood. The moment your new wife arrived, you sent the child back to your ancestral home. A strapping 15-year-old lad, strong as an ox, passed away not long after returning home. They claimed it was due to changes in environment, but only you would believe such a thing. That child was spoiled rotten by his mother. I couldn't control him. Old Jew, have you recently been experiencing backaches and general soreness, frequent nighttime urination, and a lack of energy? How did you know? One grows old. You see, it's normal. Indeed, birth, aging, sickness, and death. No one can escape. Fortunately, your new wife was fruitful, bearing you a legitimate son. When you pass away, your new wife will become the youngest Duchess of the Great Qing dynasty, and your son will be the youngest Duke in all of Great Qing. Old Jew, you toiled for the better part of your life, only to toil for another's gain in the end. If I recall correctly, your second wife, Chuckles, was the daughter of a former Hanlon Scot. A distant relative of hers is a female physician in the medical field who specializes in visiting various families' inner quarters. The room was filled with richly dressed gentlemen, each with an ashen face. On their faces, there was finally a hint of lingering fear. 36 people, their first wives. I knew all of them, except for the few who passed away early. The titled ladies who are still alive can be counted on one hand. It's truly shocking to behold. I returned to the main courtyard and had my nanny brew a bowl of health-preserving soup. Duan Qing followed me in, making small talk. What are you drinking? Health-preserving soup. You're only 38. Why preserve your health? Back then, I followed you through countless campaigns and accumulated many ailments. It's time I properly recuperated. Otherwise, if I were to pass away, other women would come to pluck my peaches, spend my silver, and bully my children. My lady, you worry too much. I, Duan Qing, would never be the kind of man to abandon his wife, who shared his hardships. Even if I pass away, I would never let those vile women step over my corpse and reap what I've sown. I will surely live to be 99 and outlive all you ungrateful wretches. My lady, I would never dote on concubines and abandon my wife. It's my fault. I'm a terrible person. I'll immediately have Madame Jew and the others driven out of the mansion. How could I be so jealous and intolerant? You've toiled for most of your life. What's wrong with enjoying the company of a few women? That is also their good fortune. But there's one thing: the authority over household management, all our family's assets, and the ducal title of the Duke's residence must be passed down to my children. Naturally, I am not a fool like old Jew. He toiled for most of his life only to pave the way for others in the end. Once a new wife enters, ambition is bound to follow. The ducal title is a juicy prize. Who wouldn't want a piece of it? She will eliminate rivals, deal with the former wife's children, and then take their place. Juhu, Liu Wei. Haven't they all been like this? I ask your grace, are you afraid or not? My lady is truly formidable. You saw through those women's schemes at a glance. After Lu Cheng was stripped of his status and made a commoner, I knew he would come. I just didn't expect him to come so quickly. Look what you've done. Now old Lu is at our doorstep with a blade. How many men did he bring? 100 or so. Perhaps that's enough. Where are you going to muster the troops? Are you mad? That's Lu Cheng. Do you dare to kill him in the street? If you don't kill the snake completely, it will cause endless trouble. I was just about to seek him out, and he delivers himself to our door, but not in plain sight. Therefore, all of this was done by me alone. It has nothing to do with your grace. From now on, you will feign illness. I will manage the entire Duke's residence. You are to know nothing of outside affairs. If questioned, blame everything on me. Go now. Have Lady Ju attend to you well and make sure your act is convincing, lest anyone discover it. And you, be careful yourself. Duan Qing, get out here, you bastard, you ungrateful rich. The commoner Lu Cheng has brought armed men to besiege the Duke's manor. This is an act of insubordination. By law, he deserves death. Duan Qing, you spineless coward, I saved your life back then, and you send me a woman to kill me. Where is Duan Qing? He has the guts to kill me, but not the courage to face me. Lu Cheng, the day you cornered Sen Lin Lin, did you ever imagine this day would come? It's you? It is you. I returned to the manor. I sent someone to the Imperial Hospital with an urgent request to invite the finest physician to treat Duan Qing's illness. It's for soothing the nerves. Drink it and lie still. The Imperial physician will be here soon. Don't give anything away. When the Imperial physician arrived, Duan Qing lay in bed. His face was ashen, his breath faint and weak. It was all due to old injuries resurfacing in his youth. He followed His Majesty to forge this empire, braving mountains of blades and seas of fire. He relied solely on his youthful vigor and pushed himself too hard, though he could still rise this morning. When that brute Lu Cheng came storming our gates, the Duke, being a man of deep loyalty, was overcome with anxiety and rage. He collapsed on the spot. I richly rewarded the Imperial physician, then turned and entered the palace to confess my supposed crime. Lu Cheng brought men to assault the Duke's manor, causing the Duke's old ailments to flare. He fell gravely ill on the spot. Your humble consort, in my panic and helplessness, was overcome with indignation. Thus, I ordered the execution of that villain. I beg your Majesty, considering the Duke has risked life and limb for your Majesty, let only this subject bear the blame. That scoundrel has gone too far. That day, for a lowly concubine, he stormed our gates, forcing the Duke to divorce me. This subject endured it, but he should not have stormed in to kill when the Duke was gravely ill. Are we, loyal wives who have shared hardships, only destined to suffer with our men and not deserve to enjoy good fortune? For old Duan to have achieved what he has today, your invaluable help as a virtuous wife is indispensable. Lu Cheng has always been arrogant. His misfortune today is also his own doing. When I left the palace, I carried imperial tonics in my arms and was followed by the imperial physician appointed by His Majesty. The news spread throughout the capital that very day. Visitors came in an endless stream. Those founding heroes who formerly would at most give me a nod now respectfully call me sister-in-law. Lu Cheng has lost his entire arm and has countless wounds, big and small, on his body. His condition is not good. I reckon his days are numbered. His second wife had long since left a divorce letter and returned to her maiden home with her dowry. His trusted confidants have all left as well, leaving only his 2 children. How truly pitiful. They say I am a heroine who rivals men, say I am fiercely protective of my husband and value sentiment and justice. They say Lu Cheng deserves it, that he brought it upon himself. Not a single person mentioned their envious expressions when Lu Cheng married his new wife. Well, indeed, who would remember that? In the past, they only remembered the plainness of a loyal wife and her repulsive, aging appearance, but they would not know that if you push a loyal wife too far, she can also take a life. Duan Qing's illness came on strangely. Imperial physicians were replaced one after another. Bowls of medicine were administered, yet he grew weaker day by day. Lady Ju was the most anxious. She stayed by his bedside almost constantly, personally decocting his medicine and personally feeding it to him. My lord Ju, this concubine is afraid. The madams gaze at me. It's as if she wants to kill me. You? This illness of mine, is it? Is it? the beloved one his grace holds so dear. In merely half a year since she entered the household, the items she took from the storeroom are all listed here: gold ornaments, jade articles, antiques from the previous dynasty, and imperial tribute silk, 341 items. This very booklet cannot contain them all. As for the silver she drew from the accounts office, at first it was 10 or 20 taels, later it became 100, then 1,000 taels. In half a year, 37,000 taels. 37,000 taels, that's enough to support a private army. The items Lady Ju moved out, that's an average of 2 items a day, truly worthy of being the meticulously trained legitimate daughter of the former dynasty's marquisate. Lady Yun is nothing compared to her. She's a mere novice. Gods, bring that wretch to me. Concubine Ju, is she with child? Madam has keen eyes. This concubine has been feeling nauseous these past 2 days. It might be that I am with child. I had originally intended to inform Madam but was afraid of incurring Madam's wrath, so I had to endure in silence. Beat her to death with sticks. Beat her to death with sticks. After Ju's demise, Duan Qing sent troops to raid the Ju family, but only a small portion of the items was recovered. Having followed the Duke and risked life and limb for 20 years, we have always been the ones raiding others' homes. Who would have thought that a woman would empty us out completely? Do you know how my parents met their end? He remembered. Ju Shi's father, the Marquis of Dingxi from the previous dynasty, had bullied and oppressed people back then, forcing his father-in-law's entire family to their deaths, and he, Duan Qing, welcomed the daughter of his wife's sworn enemy into his manor, and even demanded his wife treat her kindly. Duke, you may rest easy now. Your mission is complete. I have calculated everything. The Emperor will, because of your premature death, go on to treat us, the orphans and widows, kindly. After all, a deceased meritorious official is more so than a living one, making the Emperor more at ease. Ever since you were granted your title, I have been devising a plan on how to let you live out your years with dignity. My heart was always for your sake, yet you continually stabbed me in the heart. But this is also for the best, an earlier death and earlier dignity. Still, I must thank you. I can finally enjoy a peaceful life with a clear conscience. I forgot to tell you something. What you drank back then was not a sterility potion, but cinnabar. The amount of cinnabar was not large. It wouldn't take his life. What truly took his life was the bowl of medicinal decoction, with an increased dose later on. Back then, my younger sister was tormented to death by the Ju family with 3 months' pregnancy in her womb, and Ju Shi, who was merely an 8-year-old girl at the time, just watched my younger sister die in painful wails. Duan Qing's funeral was exceptionally grand. I entrusted the funeral arrangements to my 2 sons. The emperor also showed great respect to Duan Qing. During the funeral, His Majesty decreed Qingye to be enfifed as the new Duke of Anhua. The second son, Chengping, was also permitted to participate in the upcoming imperial examinations. The emperor's rewards to the Duan family were exceptionally generous. The world whispered that His Majesty's favor for Duan Qing was indeed immense. Only I knew the truth. As a founding minister, who survived with his integrity intact to preserve his final dignity before the emperor, the best way was to depart early. I racked my brains to preserve his dignity, but he insisted on colluding with those people. Then I could only grant him his honorable end, a permanent solution. I did not go to the mourning hall, yet guests continuously flocked to visit me. These were all women I had befriended over the years. Among them were first wives, second wives, and those who had endured as I had. When I appeared in the mourning hall, all the guests turned to look at me in unison. Their gazes held respect, a hint of probing, and an undeniable trace of awe. Esteemed ladies, old Duan is no more. As a widowed woman, it would be inconvenient for me to meet with you all going forward. However, the gates of Anhua Ducal Estate will always be open for all of you, ladies. No one spoke, but I knew. They understood. Before, when we gathered, we could only weep, weeping over faithless men, over our own bitter fates, and over our pitiable children. From now on, when we gather, we can do something else. For instance, we can ensure those ungrateful wretches cannot sleep a wink. For instance, we can teach those high-born ladies who always pluck ripe fruit where a discarded wife's blade is truly hidden. Now, I shall go enjoy my delightful widowhood.